Welcome back to Warriors News Fan Report, where we bring you the latest and most exciting sports news every single day. If you love the Warriors as much as we do, go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Now, let's dive into today's story, because there's a rumor swirling around Dub Nation that could shake the very foundation of Golden State's offseason. A move so unexpected, yet so perfectly timed that it has fans both excited and nervous. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, because what's being whispered right now might just determine whether the Warriors remain contenders or slip further away from the dynasty window. So here it is. The buzz around the league is that the Warriors are predicted to sign Al Horford. Yes, you heard that right, Al Horford, the 39-year-old veteran, to a 2-year deal worth $11. $7 million with a player option for the 2026-27 season. At first glance, it sounds like just another free agency move, another aging vet in the Bay. But if you scratch beneath the surface, if you really connect the dots, this could be one of those subtle signings that change everything. Why? Because the Warriors desperately need a starting center. It's been the glaring hole in the roster all offseason. Free agency came and went, and while other teams loaded up, the Warriors seemed stuck in neutral, their moves barely making a ripple. And now, as the offseason drags into its final chapters, the whispers grow louder. Al Horford might be the piece the Warriors have been quietly holding out for. Now, let's talk about timing. Why now? Why Horford? Reports suggest that everything hinges on the Jonathan Kuminga situation, the so-called Kuminga soap opera. If Kuminga's extension demands skyrocket, Golden State may only have the veteran's minimum to offer Horford. But if Kuminga is moved in a sign-and-trade, or if the front office finds a way to reshape the cap sheet, the Warriors could free up enough space to offer Horford the taxpayers' mid-level exception. That's the sweet spot, and insiders believe that's the most likely outcome. But let's pause and think. Could Horford really be waiting for the Warriors to figure this out before he makes his decision? Is Golden State holding his future in limbo until they resolve their own drama? Fans are wondering if this delicate balancing act could backfire. If Kuminga drags his feet and Horford gets tired of waiting, might he walk away and retire instead? Let's remember, Al Horford isn't just another name on the market. This is a 5-time All-Star, a cornerstone of playoff battles with Atlanta, Boston, and Philadelphia, a guy whose reputation is built on leadership, intelligence, and rock-solid defense. Even at 39, he brings something this Warriors roster doesn't. Have size and experience at the 5, the ability to stretch the floor with his three-point shot, and a steadying veteran presence in the locker room. Some fans argue he's exactly the type of glue piece Golden State has been missing since the days of Andrew Bogut and Zaza Pachulia, centers who weren't flashy but gave the Warriors balance, protection and toughness in big playoff moments. But here's the flip side. Horford is old. He's already hinted at retirement, and his body has carried the weight of nearly 2 decades in the NBA trenches. Could this be one of those nostalgic moves that sounds better in theory than in practice? Or could it be the last great swing of a franchise desperate to squeeze one more championship out of Steph Curry's twilight years? And here's where it gets really fascinating. Steph Curry is 37. Draymond Green is 35. Klay Thompson is gone. The dynasty feels like it's in its final act. Bringing in Horford would signal one thing. The Warriors aren't punting on this era yet. They're doubling down, even if it means leaning on veterans who are closer to retirement than their primes. Imagine Ed Horford anchoring the paint, Draymond barking out coverages, Steph running off screens with just a little more space because Horford can actually knock down the three from the top of the arc. Doesn't it sound oddly familiar? Doesn't. It brings back memories of how Golden State used to blend stars with role players who knew their job and executed it perfectly. But let's not forget the risks. A 2-year, $11.7 million deal with a player option sounds reasonable. But if Horford declines physically next season, that player option could tie up precious cap space. Warriors fans know how tricky those contracts can get. Just ask anyone still remembering Andre Iguodala's final years in the Bay. And yet, here's the key question. Is it worth the gamble? If Horford gives you just one more year of productive basketball, if he helps stabilize the rotation and gives Steph a chance to fight for one last title, isn't that worth the risk? Of dead money in 2026, social media has already lit up with the rumor. Some fans are thrilled. Finally, a real big man to anchor the defense. Others are skeptical. Horford's too old. This is desperation. And then there are those who see it as the perfect bridge move away to stay competitive while Kuminga, Brandon Podziemski, and Trace Jackson-Davis develop into the next generation. Journalists have chimed in too. Bleacher Report's Dan Favale flat out predicted it, and that alone sent ripples across the NBA world. Suddenly, it's not just fan speculation, it's analysts saying, yes, this could happen. Yes, this might be the Warriors' move. And let's think about the Western Conference. Denver's still stacked with Nikola Jokic. Minnesota has Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert. San Antonio is rising fast with Victor Wembanyama. The Lakers are reloading. The Clippers are clinging to relevance, and Dallas, depending on Luka Doncic's health, could be a major obstacle. In that landscape, can the Warriors really afford to enter another season with Kevin Looney as their only dependable center? Looney has been a Warrior, pun intended, but he's undersized, overworked, and stretched thin against elite big men. Adding Horford gives Golden State a fighting chance in matchups that would otherwise be nightmares. Could Horford be the key to leveling the playing field? And here's another wrinkle: leadership. Draymond is emotional, fiery, sometimes volatile. Steph leads by example, but often avoids the political side of the locker room. Horford? He's known as one of the most respected voices in any locker room he's been in. Could his presence help stabilize a Warriors team that's seen its fare? Share of internal drama in recent years? From the Draymond-Jordan pool punch to the endless contract sagas, Golden State has felt anything but stable. Horford, quiet and consistent, might be exactly the personality to bring calm back into the storm. But here's the million-dollar question, or should I say the $11.7 million question. If the Warriors sign Al Horford, is it enough? Or is it just the beginning of something bigger? Could Horford's arrival open the door to another trade, another domino falling that reshapes this roster? Is this the front office's way of signaling that the Kuminga saga is nearing its conclusion and that they're ready to commit fully to either youth or veterans? As we stand here today, nothing is official. Horford hasn't signed, Kuminga hasn't been traded, and the Warriors front office remains tight-lipped. But isn't that exactly what makes this moment so nerve-wracking? Because silence in. The NBA is rarely silence. It's the quiet before the storm, the pause before the deal drops, the suspense before Roy or Shams light up your phone with a breaking news alert. And Dub Nation feels that tension in the air, like the Chase Center itself is holding its breath. The smoke is getting thicker, and we all know in this league that where there's smoke, there's usually fire. The question is, will this fire be the spark that reignites a dynasty? Or will it be the blaze that consumes the last flickering embers of Golden State's golden era? Fans are on edge, scrolling through updates, checking Twitter feeds, refreshing Instagram stories, dissecting every rumor and every quote. The Jonathan Kuminga situation lingers like an unsolved riddle. Will he be the bridge to the future, or the bargaining chip sacrificed for one last run? And now, layered on top of that, the possibility of Al Horford entering the mix. Some look at it as a blessing, a veteran with playoff scars, a cerebral presence who can steady the rotation, space the floor, and teach younger players what it means to endure in April, May, and maybe June. Others see it as a red flag, a 39-year-old body, a player already flirting with retirement, the kind of move that screams short-term desperation instead of long-term vision. Could it be both at once? Could Horford represent both salvation and risk, the perfect answer and the dangerous gamble? Think about the history here. Every great Warriors chapter has had its bridge player. Back in 2015, it was Andre Iguodala, the veteran glue guy who took a Finals MVP while Steph and Klay blossomed into legends. In 2017, it was David West and Zaza Pachulia, unglamorous but vital in anchoring rotations behind Kevin Durant's brilliance. Even in 2022, when everyone thought the dynasty was dead, it was Otto Porter Jr. and the Manja Bielica who gave just enough size and spacing to carry Golden State back to the top. Could Horford be the next in that line? The understated veteran whose contribution doesn't light up box scores, but shifts the balance of power? Or is this the mirror image of those signings, an aging star arriving just a little too late, when the magic can't be recaptured no matter how smart the fit looks on paper? And let's not forget what's happening around the league. Denver is still Denver, a monster led by Nikola Jokic, who devours undersized front courts. Minnesota, with Gobert and Towns, has length and size that bullies small ball lineups. San Antonio has Wembanyama, the future of basketball, who already looks like the present. The Lakers, Clippers, Mavericks, all loading up, all hungry, all circling the prey. In that landscape, does Horford tip the scales? Does he give Golden State the size to withstand the Jokic avalanche, the brains to outmaneuver the Wolves? Twin Towers, the grit to frustrate a rising Spurs squad? Or is this just rearranging deck chairs on a sinking ship, hoping that experience can outlast athleticism in a league that gets younger and faster every season? As a lifelong member of Dub Nation, I can't help but feel a mix of excitement and dread. Excitement, because I can see the vision so clearly: Horford slipping into that starting five, hitting trail threes, boxing out bigger bodies, directing traffic on defense while Draymond explodes with energy next to him. I can see the headlines. Veteran Horford gives Warriors one last push. Steph's last dance gets defensive boosts. I can feel the electricity of Chase Center when Horford buries a clutch three in the corner, when Steph celebrates with that unmistakable shimmy, when Draymond screams into the crowd knowing they've bought themselves another shot at immortality. But dread because I know how fragile it all is. One misstep, one nagging injury, one bad matchup, and suddenly Horford's age isn't just a number. It's the reality that slows rotations, misses rebounds, loses games. Dread because we've seen this before. Once great veterans who arrive too late, who can't quite summon the body to match the brilliance of their minds. Dread because tying up cap space in a player option means gambling not just on this year, but on the next, locking yourself into a future that may not exist if the wheels fall off. This is the paradox of being a fan in moments like these. You want to believe. You need to believe. You replay the memories of 2015, of 2017, of 2022, of Klay's Game 6 heroics, of Steph's 43-point masterpiece against Boston, and you tell yourself, we've seen it before. We can see it again. But deep down, you also remember 2016, the 73-9 season that ended in heartbreak. You remember 2019, when injuries crushed the dynasty in real time. You remember 2023, when the youth didn't quite mesh with the veterans, when chemistry cracked. Under pressure, you know that nothing lasts forever, not even greatness draped in blue and gold dot. So I'll throw it to you, Dub Nation. What do you think about all of this? Is signing Al Horford the smart veteran move the Warriors need to stay afloat in the brutal Western Conference? Or is it a risky gamble on a player whose body may already be betraying him? Could this be the ignition point for one more glorious push? Or is it the final grasp of a dynasty fading into memory? For me, I'll be honest, I'm split. My heart says yes. Bring him in, let's give Steph and Draymond every ounce of help we can find. My head says it's dangerous, that relying on 39-year-old legs is asking for disappointment. But maybe, just maybe, sometimes you follow your heart in sports. Because what's the point if you don't believe in the miracle? And isn't that what the Warriors have always been about: miracles? I can't wait to read your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear the hope, the doubt, the arguments. The fire because this community thrives on passion, and this debate cuts right to the core of who we are as fans. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Warriors News Fan Report, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. This offseason is far from over. The Warriors are right in the middle of it, and the next move, whether it's Horford, Kuminga, or something no one sees coming, could change everything. Stay ready, because in Golden State, the story is never finished until the very last shot.